All right, we're going to get started, everyone. There'll be a few people joining shortly, but hello and welcome to the ecoroof Incentive Program Ambassador Training for Cool Roofs. We're really excited that you're joining us today. My name is Emma, and I'm the project lead for the ecoroof Incentive Program, and I'm joined today by my colleague Gauthman, who will be helping us through the application process today. Gauthman, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Gauthman. I work on the ecoroof Incentive Program with Emma and a few of our other colleagues. Today, we hope to give you an overview of the application process for Cool Roof incentives. Emma and I will facilitate taking turns going through the process and walking you through the application process to apply for an incentive, and also through the process in terms of how to submit documents related to a completed Cool Roof project so that the incentive can be paid out to the property owner. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Gauthman. We're also joined by our colleagues, Anna and Anne-Marie. You'll notice Anna has already typed in the chat, and she will be assisting us with the Q&A portion of this training. Before we get started, I just want to make people aware that we are recording today's session, and you will have received that notification. So with that, we will begin. Before we start, I want to acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, and the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Indigenous peoples are the original stewards of the lands on which we now live. It's important to recognize all the ways that healthy ecosystems support and enrich our lives, from clean lakes we can swim and fish in to healthy soil that we can grow and play in. Indigenous people's respect for the natural world is something we can all learn from. Environmental stewardship and living in relationship with the land are important values in Indigenous culture. As we implement solutions such as eco-roofs, we need to recognize that this is only one piece of the climate action puzzle. The greatest climate action will come from changing our relationship to the land and each other. So I encourage you all to reflect after today's training on your own relationship to the land and actions you would like to take to respect our environment. The agenda for the training today is we'll first go over how to use the WebEx platform, and then we will explain what the Ambassador Program is and why we are running it. We'll provide an overview of the ecoroof Incentive Program and why we are encouraging eco-roofs. Then we'll dive into the application requirements and the online form and what happens once you are approved and how the rebate payout process works. We'll share some information on related city programs that may be relevant to your clients. And then we'll go over what happens after today's training, including the quiz, the new online directory, and how you can apply your learnings in your work with your clients. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the WebEx platform, we'll just give you a brief overview to help you interact during this training. So the black bar there that you see on the screen is similar to what you'll be seeing on your screen, with the exception of the mute button. You will not be able to toggle back and forth. So if you'd like to get in contact with our team, please leave it in the chat or ask a question in the Q&A. So as you can see from my arrows, one is leading to the chat function, but then in order to access the Q&A, you'll need to click on those other three dots there and select Q&A. And once again, that's where you put your questions. That's where we'll be responding to questions too. The chat is if you have general comments. We won't be answering questions that are specific to your project that you've submitted currently or want to submit, and we won't be answering questions on specific materials yet. If you have very specific questions, we encourage you to send them in an email to ecoroof@toronto.ca. So the ambassador training, the goals of this program are to support roofing contractors and building professionals in understanding and applying for the ecoroof incentive program. Understanding the program and the application is a value add to your potential clients. So this training is specifically designed for building professionals and those who will be filling out the ecoroof incentive program application on behalf of a client or supporting a property owner through the application. So if you're a roofer or the administrative team in a roofing company, this training is for you. So roofing professionals and their administrative teams that are directly involved in submitting applications today or in the future, this training is not designed for property owners. We'll have public webinars on the ecoroof incentive program if you're just looking to learn more in the future. So if there's anyone on the call that's not a roofer and just a property owner, this training is not designed for you, but you're welcome to stay if you'd like to just listen. So in order to access the learning assessment, you will have need to register for this training and attend today's session. Those who attended today will be emailed the link within 1 week to the quiz. And you must attend the webinar in full, as well as pass the learning assessment in order to be added to the online directory. By the end of this training, you should feel more comfortable in applying for the ecoroof incentive program, know how to market it to your clients, and it will be around 1 hour today, and then with 30 minutes for additional questions. So what is the ecoroof incentive program? Some of you might already be familiar and applied in the past, which is great. And for those of you who are new to the program, I'm really excited to tell you about it today. So it was launched in 2009, which means that it's now been running for 15 years. And the program supports the installation of green roofs and cool roofs, which we collectively refer to as eco-roofs, on Toronto homes and buildings. All existing buildings are eligible, including some new buildings in Toronto. So for those of you wondering what a green roof is also known as a living roof or a vegetated roof, and these are roof systems that support the growth of vegetation. Toronto's green roof bylaw defines a green roof as an extension of an above-grade roof built on top of a human-made structure that allows vegetation to grow in a growing medium, and it is designed, constructed, and maintained in accordance with the Toronto Green Roof Construction Standard. A green roof assembly, which you can see in the bottom right, includes, at minimum, a root repellent system, a drainage system, a filtering layer, growing medium, also known as soil, and plants. And it is installed on a waterproof membrane of an applicable roof. Green roof systems are most often installed on a flat roof, but can be installed on a sloped roof with a few considerations. Green roof systems are generally classified as an extensive, semi-intensive, or intensive system, and these classifications refer to the depth of the growing medium and the plant types that are able to be supported on the roof. Cool roofs, also known in the industry as white roofs, are a roofing system with an exterior surface that reflects the sun's rays and reduces heat buildup from the sun's thermal energy. A cool roof can either be a coating over an existing roof system or a new waterproofing membrane entirely. Here are a couple of examples of what cool roofs can look like. And as you can see, there are a few different styles that are available, which is great because any building is able to have a cool roof on it. What has our program achieved? Well, as of December 2023, we funded 627 projects. This figure will be updated by the end of this year as well. And we've created over 1.14 million square meters of eco-roof space. These eco-roofs help to divert stormwater, reduce energy consumption, create jobs, and reduce our citywide greenhouse gas emissions. Eco-roofs have a tangible environmental impact and will help Toronto reach its climate goals. There are a number of benefits to installing eco-roofs over conventional roofs, and these benefits align with the City of Toronto's climate goals. On the private side, eco-roofs can save property owners money by reducing costs associated with cooling or heating and cooling. Eco-roofs have shown to extend the life of a roof membrane as they help reflect harmful UV rays and reduce extreme temperature fluctuations. Buildings with an eco-roof are also more comfortable on the inside, especially during warmer months. On the public side, eco-roofs reduce citywide greenhouse gas emissions, cool ambient air temperatures, and reduce the urban heat island effect, and they reduce peak energy demand. Think of during a heat wave when everyone is using their air conditioning. This puts a strain on our energy grid. This map just shows temperatures across Toronto and southern Ontario. And as you can see, Toronto and other large cities in the Greater Toronto Area are significantly hotter than areas with minimal urbanization. This is called the urban heat island effect. Infrastructure like buildings, roads, and parking lots hold on to heat and release it much slower. So urban areas get hotter and stay hotter for longer compared to areas with more vegetation and green space. This is because vegetation actually helps regulate temperature and cool ambient temperatures due to a process called evapotranspiration. Technologies like cool roofs and green roofs help to reduce the urban heat island effect, and you can experience this. So next time it's a hot day, just take a walk past the park and you'll notice the change in temperature. Program eligibility varies based on if you're applying for a cool roof or a green roof. For cool roofs, all existing buildings in the City of Toronto are eligible to apply, as well as new low-rise buildings with less than 5 units. Rebates for cool roof projects are $5 per square meter for replacing the cool roof, the roof membrane with a cool roof, and $2 a square meter if you're just using a coating product over an existing roof. For green roofs, same thing. All existing buildings are eligible, including new buildings with a gross floor area of less than 2,000 square meters, and all new construction on Toronto school boards and not-for-profit organizations are eligible. Green roofs receive a rebate of $100 per square meter, up to $100,000, and we also offer up to $1,000 for structural assessment for a structural engineer to determine if the building is able to support the weight of a green roof. Now getting into the application process, when should you consider applying? As a contractor, apply once the supporting documents are collected, which we will go over, and the roof material is selected. You are more than welcome to reach out to us ahead of time and confirm the material with us, that it meets our requirements before filling out the online application. And really important, please apply and then wait for approval before starting any work, because projects that have started or are complete may not be eligible for funding. Who needs to apply? Either the property owner or the roofing contractor can apply for the Eco-Roof Incentive Program. Some contractors will submit the application on behalf of their clients as a value add. Applications are reviewed on a weekly basis, and applicants are notified of their application status within 2 weeks of applying. Application approval is subject to funding availability, and approved projects should be completed within 1 year of the application approval date. Only certain cool roof materials are eligible for our program. For low slope or flat roofs, the material must have an initial solar reflectance index, or SRI, rating of 78 or greater, and an initial emissivity greater than or equal to 0.9. For steep slope, aka pitched roofs, the materials must have an SRI rating of 25 or greater and an initial emissivity greater than or equal to 0.9. Also important to note is that all cool roof products must be asbestos and mercury free and emit zero volatile organic compounds and ozone depleting substances. The online application requires you to include the cool roof material you intend to use on the project, so it's a good idea to determine the material before starting the online application. Most manufacturers will have a specification sheet that will tell you the information on whether or not the product will be eligible, as it will outline the SRI and the emissivity values. It's also important to note that not every cool roof product out there is eligible for a rebate through our program, and we will only approve applications where the cool roof material meets our requirements. And these material requirements are on our website as well. To better understand the material requirements, it's helpful to understand the 3 values that determine the performance of a cool roof. So those are solar reflectance, thermal emittance, and the solar reflectance index. The solar reflectance is the fraction of solar energy that is reflected by the roof. Solar energy that is not reflected is absorbed by the roof, and this is what makes the roof surface hot and results in heat transfer to the building interior. Thermal emittance, or emissivity, is the relative ability of the roof to release heat after it has been absorbed. Both solar reflectance and thermal emittance are represented as a number between 0 and 1, with 1 being the most reflective or emissive. The solar reflectance index, or SRI, combines the solar reflectance and thermal emittance into one number. SRI values for most materials fall between 0 and 100. Although values outside of that range are possible, the higher the SRI, the better the roofing material's ability is to reflect solar energy and release absorbed heat, and therefore reducing heat transfer into the building. This is just a quick graphic to show the difference between conventional roofs and cool roofs. So compared to conventional roofs, cool roofs reflect more sunlight, absorb less heat, and emit absorbed heat faster, which results in less heat transfer to the building, making the interior more comfortable and requiring less air conditioning during the summer months. Most studies out there suggest that cool roofs reflect 80 to 88% of the sun's energy, whereas conventional roofs do the opposite. To help find eligible products, we recommend using the Cool Roof Rating Council product directory. This directory is not affiliated with the City of Toronto, but it is an excellent resource. If you go to coolroofs.org, you can find a variety of cool roof resources, including the product directory. So if you look over in the top right, you can click on the product directories button and select the roof product directory. That will take you to something like this. It's very easy to use. You can sort by the various filters on the left-hand side, filters like thermal emittance, SRI, or the manufacturer, and you can use the directory to confirm if a product meets the requirements of the program. If the product is not listed in the directory, you can also reach out to the manufacturer and get a copy of the specification sheet. The columns on the right are the values you need to determine whether the product is eligible. Not every product listed on the directory meets the material requirements of the program. So very quickly, if we're looking at this product right here, it's an asphalt shingle for a flat roof. Judging by the thermal emittance and the SRI, if you think back to those material requirements, would this product be eligible for our program? You don't need to write in the chat or anything. It's just to get you thinking about how these values work. This is for a pitched roof, a sloped roof. And if you remember the material requirements for that, sloped roofs are required to have a thermal emittance of 0.9 or greater and an SRI of 25 or greater. So if you said, yes, this product is eligible, then you would be correct. And pass this off to my colleague, Gibson.
Okay, thank you, Emma. So I'm going to take over from Emma and start with the coverage requirements. So if you're familiar with the EcoRoof Incentive Program or just heard about it recently or joining us today, one of our core goals of the program is to ensure that whenever a cool roof is installed, that it's a full roof retrofit, meaning that 100% of the available roof space of the building is covered by a cool roof. We do recognize that sometimes, especially with larger buildings, this isn't always feasible, and it must be done in stages. So partial roof retrofits are also allowed. However, in those cases, the property owner must also commit to installing a cool roof on the remaining sections of the building, such that 100% of the total roof space is eventually covered by a cool roof that meets the requirements of the ecoroof incentive program. To do this, if you are applying for a partial roof retrofit, the property owner is also required to submit a letter stating their intention to complete the future roof replacements with an ecoroof or a cool roof product that meets our program requirements. Next slide, please. To do this, we do, as of this year, have some templates to help you draft that letter if you need to work with the property owner to put that in place when you're applying. We have this available on our program website. It's under the How to Apply section. It's called the Letter of Intent for Future Roof Replacements. It's a Microsoft Word document. You can download it. You can type into it directly, update the highlighted fields with the appropriate information, and submit that directly to us. If you've applied to the program in the past and have submitted, one or more cool roof incentive applications, you may have your own template for such a letter already in place, and you can update that as well to incorporate what we have here or use this directly. So it's very flexible in terms of format. Once the letter is prepared, we do want the property owner's information there as indicated and signed. And we do permit electronic signing and just regular signing by hand. And there's instructions enclosed as well on how to go about completing the letter and submitting it to us as well directly on the document. So if you haven't already, we do encourage you sometime, maybe later today or sometime in the future, visit our program website. This is one of several templates that's been added to the How to Apply section on the program website. Next slide, please. All right, so we're going to start with the supporting documents that are required anytime a cool roof incentive application is submitted to the ecoroof incentive program. There are four key components that we're looking for. We require the photos of the existing roof. We also require information about the roofing material or the cool roof product you intend to use for the project. We require a roof plan drawing as well as a maintenance plan. We'll get into each of these in more detail over the upcoming slides. And typically, once you have all of these documents ready for submission, that's when you should submit an application to the ecoroof incentive program. If you have one or more ready, you are welcome to submit the application and then submit the remaining documents by email at ecoroof@toronto.ca. Next slide, please. Okay, we're going to start with the photographs of the existing roof. So in terms of photographs, what we're looking for is one or more photographs that accurately describe the state of the current roof. And so to do that, what we want to see is high quality photographs taken on a clear day that are representative of the roof and include other elements that allow it to be related to the roof that you're purporting to show. So what we mean by that is we want it to be taken ideally on a sunny day. We want it to be high quality. When you're submitting to us, try to include the digital file for the photograph itself instead of a copy or a scanned image. We want it in color. And we want to see in the photograph elements in the surrounding background, either in the skyline or the horizon, that allow us to make a determination that this photograph was taken at the location that you're reporting it to be taken from. So that's what we want to see in an ideal roof photograph. If you need several photographs to accurately show the state of the current roof, especially for a larger roof, we do encourage you to submit multiple photographs as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so here we have another example of a photograph that was received through the program. This photograph is not the best example. You'll note that it's not as clear and it's not as representative. So there are elements in the skyline that allow us to determine where it was taken, but ideally it should be a bit more resolved, should be higher quality. And because this is a larger roof, ideally we should have more than one photograph submitted that allow us to make the determination of the current state of the existing roof. In these cases, we may reach out to you and request additional photographs as part of the application review process. So to help you streamline that work, if you could take several photographs and ensure they're high quality at the time of submission, it'll help ease the application process for yourself and for us. Next slide, please. All right, here we have another photograph, or not a photograph, but a rendition showing a roof. This is something that we would not accept through the program. This is a screen capture of a Google Maps rendition, the satellite view of the building. Our program requires that we have photographs taken of the existing roof from the surface of the roof or from directly above the roof. We cannot accept renditions from Google Maps, as these renditions are taken perhaps at different times, and they may not be a true representation of what the roof is at the time of your application submission. So in these cases, we will require you to go back and obtain photographs for submission. So in this particular case, a rendition from Google Maps was submitted to us, and we reached out to the applicant and asked for submission of a photograph that was taken directly from the surface of the roof. We could showcase the photograph that was taken. So you'll see it's the same roof. On the left, we have the rendition. On the right, we have a photograph taken directly from the surface of the roof. And what we have on the right is what we would want to see as part of your applications. Next slide, please. Okay, and then here's another example. This is a photograph that we would not accept as part of your application. It's missing a very key element. It does appear to show a roof, but there's no way to determine from the photograph itself where this picture was taken. It's missing those key elements where the top portion of the photograph is missing the skyline, the horizon, which allow it to be located to a specific address. And so in these cases, we would ask for submission of additional photographs which meet those requirements. Again, if it's a larger roof, we do encourage you to submit more than one photograph so that you can capture the roof from multiple angles and provide a more representative picture of what the roof presently looks like. Next slide, please. Okay, so moving on from photographs to the material specs. Emma briefly chatted about this earlier. We do require you to submit as part of your application the product specification sheets for the chosen cool roof product. And the specification sheets you do provide do need to speak to the solar reflective index and thermal limits of the chosen cool roof product. Sometimes a product spec sheet might be put out by a manufacturer for several models or several colors of the same type of cool roof product. In these cases, we do want you to indicate directly on the spec sheet which product is related to your specific roofing project, and indicate that the solar reflective index and thermal emittance meet our program criteria. So looking strictly at this screen grab of a product spec sheet, we see that it's for a TPO membrane product. The manufacturer has identified the SRI and thermal emittance values for several colors. If you take a look at it and you remember from earlier what our product requirements are, you might note that only one of these products meets our program requirements. So with that said, if you want to take a quick look at it, and that would be if you haven't already figured it out, that would be the white TPO membrane. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, here's another one. This is another capture from a product spec sheet for a cool roof product. Again, the manufacturers designed the spec sheet to be used for several products of varying colors, the same type of product, different colors. And if you had to look at this, which of these membrane colors for the cool roof product meet our program requirements? You can look at it quickly. Again, you don't need to type in the chat. Just take a look, and it should be obvious. Again, the white membrane would meet our program requirements. Okay, next slide. All right, we're going to move on to roof plans. And a roof plan is essentially just a drawing of the roof. We want it to be representative of what the roof looks like in shape and size. And it needs to identify a couple of key components. We want it obviously to show the building address. So the building where the roofing project will take place, we want that stated on the roof plan. And we want details relating to the total roof area in square meters, as well as the proposed cool roof area in square meters. When we say total roof area, we mean the total roof area of that building, written in square meters. And then proposed cool roof area, we're referring to the area where you intend to install the cool roof as part of your project. So if the roofing project is for a full roof retrofit, you're covering the whole roof with a cool roof, then these two numbers are going to be identical. If you're doing a partial roof retrofit, particular section, then these two numbers will vary and the cool roof area will be less than the total roof area. And finally, we would like the percentage cool roof coverage stated directly on the roof plan. That's just the percentage of the proposed cool roof area with respect to the total roof area multiplied by 100%. Again, all measurements for area should be provided in square meters. And for the roof plan, we do accept various formats. You can use computer software or design software to draw the roof plan. You can use a Google Maps satellite rendition as a starting point to help you prepare your roof plan and then overlay the required information directly onto that image, or you can draw it by hand. The key thing is we want it to be representative of the roof in terms of size and shape. If you're undertaking a partial roof retrofit, so you're completing a specific section, we would like to see those divisions on the roof plan, indicating which section is going to be the subject of your current application. You can label it with a specific label, roof A, roof B, roof C, section A, section B. And this will make it easier for you to describe that in your application submission. Next slide, please. Okay, so here we have an example of what we would like to see as our ideal roof plan. All the information is there. This roof plan is descriptive and representative of the building in terms of shape and size. It has information about the roofing company. It has information about the property owner and includes the key components we're looking for. It states the total cool roof area. It states the total roof area as well as the percentage coverage. And it even indicates which specific sections of the roof will be the subject of this roofing project. So in this particular case, there's 3 roofing sections that the roof has been split into, and it appears that sections A and B are the subject of this specific roofing project, and C is not. Area requirements are required. If you'd like to include dimensions, you're more than welcome to. We do encourage it, however, it's not required, but at a minimum, we do require both the cool roof area and the total roof area, both in square meters, as well as the percentage coverage. Again, another key piece is to include the building's address or street address directly on the roof plan drawing. Next slide, please. Okay, here is another roof plan it's based off an example of previous submissions to the ecoroof incentive program. Again, we do allow roof plans to be submitted in various formats. This roof plan has been prepared using some sort of design software, and that's perfectly acceptable. What we do need to see, however, is the additional requirements that we need as part of our program requirements directly on the roof plan drawing. So it looks like this software tool has produced a drawing that accurately describes the shape of the roof and provides the area in square feet. However, as part of the program requirements, we do need directly added to this drawing the property address, so the building address. We need the proposed cool roof area in square meters. We need the total roof area in square meters, the percentage coverage as a result of those two numbers, as well as if it were a partial roof retrofit, say the whole building wasn't being retrofitted with a cool roof, some indicators as to which sections of the building's roof were the subject of this roofing project. Next slide, please. Okay, so everything I talked about, this is what we would like to see, something like this. You can use the same drawing prepared by the same drawing or design tool with these elements added directly to the drawing afterwards. So here we have at the top, you'll note that the property address would be provided. The cool roof area has been provided in square meters. Total roof area has been provided in square meters. And in this case, it's a full roof retrofit, so 100%. And that's what we would like to see as part of the submissions. If all of these components are on your roof plan drawing as part of your original submission, it will help you receive a faster turnaround time in terms of project approval. Next slide, please. Okay, here's another example of a roof plan. And this is a roof plan that's been a combination of an existing drawing and some edits directly to that drawing. This we would not be able to accept because it's missing several key components. As a minimum, we don't have the building address. We don't have a clear indication of where the cool roof is to be installed, if it's on the full roof or if it's a partial roof coverage. We have an area stated in square meters. It's unclear if that's the total roof area or the area of just the cool roof or the proposed cool roof itself. So we would need those amendments made to this roof plan prior to being able to accept it for submission. Next slide, please. Okay, and finally, here's another example of a roof plan that based on roof plans that we received through the program in its history. Hand-drawn roof plans are also accepted, again, as long as they are representative in terms of shape and size of the building and the building's roof. Here we have what looks like a larger industrial building. The roof has been divided into various sections, A, B, C, and D. The areas of all sections have been provided in square meters. And it appears that it is a partial roof retrofit project and that area A is the subject of the current application. And in this particular case, it looks like area B and C were completed in previous roofing projects. This roof plan has most of the required elements. It's still missing a couple of key elements. We would want to see the building address added directly to the roof plan. We would also like to just have the total roof area stated directly on the roof plan in square meters, as well as the percentage coverage. So with those minor edits, this roof plan would be fully accepted as part of your application submission. Next slide, please. Okay, here's another example roof plan. Yeah, and so again, most of the key components are there. Areas of or roof sections have certain roof sections have the area stated in square feet, but also in square meters. We do require them in square meters, so it's good to see that. But again, we're missing other key elements. We don't have the building address directly on the roof plan. We don't have the total roof area or the building stated on the roof plan. And even with the areas that are stated, we need some sort of indication to suggest whether it's just area A that's part of the current roofing project or area A and area B. And finally, we would also need the percentage coverage in relation to what the proposed cool roof area is for this specific project. Next slide, please. Yep, another roof plan. Again, so these are examples where renditions from Google Maps or other satellite imagery are being used to create the roof plans, and these are acceptable. What we would like to see again is just all the details we've described above. So in this particular case, it looks like all of our elements are there. The building is accurately represented in terms of shape and size. The roof's been broken down into 3 sections. The areas of each section have been indicated in square meters. The area that's the subject of the current application has been highlighted. The building address is there. And the total cool roof or the total roof area has also been provided at the bottom of the roof plan. The only other piece we would like to see on this roof plan or such a roof plan would be the percentage cool roof coverage, which again is the proposed cool roof area as a percentage of the total cool roof area. And so, you know, when you're submitting, ensure that all of those elements are described. Next slide, please. Okay, so the final piece we're going to talk about is the maintenance plan. Cool roofs, as you know, must be maintained so that they can adequately reflect the sun's rays over their lifespan. So a maintenance plan for our program requires that the property owner commits to at least an annual roof cleaning, and an annual roof condition assessment and resulting maintenance, and any other maintenance recommendations provided by the manufacturer or the materials supplier. So in terms of a maintenance plan, we're looking for a commitment from the property owner stating that they will maintain their roof, as well as any documentation related to the specific product that speaks to how that roof should be maintained. Sometimes cool roof installation companies do provide a maintenance contract as part of their service. That's acceptable. However, it is not required through our program, and property owners need to be made aware of that when applying for the ecoroof incentive program. Next slide, please. So as of this year, we also do have a letter of intent for cool roof maintenance posted on our program website under the How to Apply section. We encourage you to take a look at this later today or sometime over the next little while. You are welcome to use this to help formulate that commitment letter or letter of intent for the property owner. You can replace all the highlighted fields with the appropriate information. Have them sign it and submit it to make that process a bit more streamlined. If you've applied to the program in the past and you have your own versions that you've used in the past, you're welcome to use those as well. Try to take a look at this and try to incorporate any necessary changes into your own templates. Again, we're flexible on format. So what we would like to see on the go forward is we'd like to see a letter from the property owner that is either based off of this template or resembles something very, very close to it, as well as any accompanying maintenance documentation or recommendations provided by the product manufacturer or the roof installation company. In cases where the property owner may choose to work with you or another company to carry out routine maintenance, you can include the maintenance contract as well along with this letter. Next slide, please. And this speaks to certain cases where you might have a building where a green roof project is being undertaken and a cool roof project is being undertaken. And so the question is, can you apply for both a green roof incentive and a cool roof incentive for the same building? The answer is yes. Obviously, we would anticipate that different portions of the roof are the subject of each type of roof. Cool roof would be installed on one portion of the roof and a green roof on the other. In these cases, we would require two separate applications that are submitted to the ecoroof incentive program. The information that's required as part of your application submission does vary slightly between a cool roof incentive application and a green roof incentive application. And most importantly, in terms of a green roof installation, a permit from Toronto Building is required prior to commencing installation of the green roof. And so that changes the process ever so slightly. In terms of how a roof plan could be created and follow the same process, we're very flexible in terms of how the format we accept for roof plans. It could be computer-aided software or design software to draw it. It could be used based off an existing drawing or a satellite image, or it could be hand-drawn. Next slide, please. Okay, and so we're just going to talk quickly about our program website. So when you go on our program website, toronto.ca/ecoroof, you'll see at the top there is a banner with an Apply Now button. This will take you directly to our online application form. If you scroll to the bottom of the website, you'll see the individual sections that speak to eligibility and the process in terms of applying. But for the purposes of this presentation, we're just going to look at the application form in more detail. Next slide, please. So when you click on that apply button, you will be taken to our program terms and conditions. You can read these, the program terms and conditions, scroll to the bottom, check the box that says you've read and agreed to the terms, and then hit proceed. And when you do, the online application form will open. The first section of the form is the property owner information or the client that you're working with. We do ask that you fill this out to the best of your ability with their information. Consult them, maybe have them help you with the process, or if they're undertaking it independently, you can share this information with them. Property owner, contact name, In the case of most residential projects, these will be the same. If it's an individual, if it's a commercial property, the property owner might be the commercial entity or organization. Contact name might be the person associated with the organization that's working with you on the roofing project. Phone number and email, again, the best contact person for the property owner. And the street address where the eco-roof is being installed is the building where the roofing project will be undertaken and the associated postal code with that. The mailing address, if it happens to be the same as the eco-roof address or where the project is, the project address, you can check the box and it'll automatically populate. The mailing address, if it happens to be different, you can provide the mailing address for the property owner there. You can select building type, give us some more information on what kind of building it is. If it's a new building that's to be constructed or an existing building. If it's an existing building, tell us what kind of roof presently is on top of the building, roof slope, and you can specify the measurement either in degrees or percentage. Next slide, please. The next section is the applicant information. So again, as Emma emphasized, we do accept the application either from the property owner or from the roofing contractor. So what we ask here is that you indicate who is applying for the incentive who is submitting the incentive application. So if it's yourself as the contractor, input your information. If it's the property owner, you can hit the checkbox and it'll collate the information from the first section for the property owner. Give us a brief description of the project, and underneath the installer information, this is the section where the roof installation company or roofing contractor is to input their information. Next slide, please. Project details. Today we're talking about cool roof incentive applications and cool roof projects. So project type will be cool, and then estimated project completion date. If you have an anticipated turnaround time of when you expect the roofing project to be complete, please provide it to us. Indicate the type of cool roof product you're using, whether it's a membrane type product or a coating product. Give us the cool roof area in square meters. This should match what you provided on your, or what you plan to provide on your roof plan, as well as the total roof area. Again, should match what you intend to have on your roof plan. Underneath or beside that, you'll have the percentage of cool roof, percentage coverage of available roof space. This will be calculated automatically by the form based on the numbers you input. And then underneath for SRI, solar reflectance and thermal emittance, we want you to match the values provided by the product manufacturer and input them here. Product description, you can include the product name, the cool roof product name, so you can include the model name, number, product manufacturer, anything else that you think is appropriate. Maintenance plan, maybe just a brief description of, if you're planning to, if the property owner is planning to enter into a maintenance contract with your roofing company or another company, whether they plan to do it independently. You can provide some details there. And then underneath, you need to check off the confirmation checkbox that confirms that the chosen roofing material is free of asbestos and mercury and emits 0 VOCs or ozone depleting substances. Next slide, please. And then supporting documents. So the 4 supporting documents that we talked about, this is the part of the online application form where you can upload each of them as attachments. The form does allow you to upload up to 5 individual attachments. If you have more attachments, say you have several photographs, you can either put them all in one file and submit them together, or if needed, you can always email the additional attachments to us directly to the program email at ecoroof@toronto.ca after you submit your online application. Our preferred file formats for images are JPEG, and our preferred file formats for the other documents are PDF. Next slide, please. What happens next? So you're going to wait for approval before starting any work on the roof. As Emma talked about, projects that have started or are complete may not be eligible for funding. We'll review the application and we'll send a funding approval letter or let you know if the application is incomplete or missing any critical information. We won't decline a project just because additional information hasn't been provided. You will be provided with an opportunity to submit that, and we'll walk you through the process. Funding for projects is typically held for a year. We do hope that roofing projects are completed within 1 year and that the necessary documents associated with completing the roof project are submitted. If you anticipate that the roofing project is going to go beyond the 1 year mark, please let us know, and you can submit an email to ecoroof@toronto.ca letting us know that. Next slide, please. Okay, in terms of paying out payment of the incentive or rebate, so payout is issued once the cool roof's been completed and all of the completion documents are submitted. The property owner will be provided with 2 documents that they need to sign, and they'll also need to submit a void check so that their payment can be made by direct deposit. The property owner is the only person or entity that can receive the rebate. So in terms of completion documents, they're all going to be submitted to ecoroof@toronto.ca, the program email address. We ask that you not submit completion documents through the online application form. The online application form is to be used for new applications when you're applying for the an incentive, not to submit documents related to application that's already been approved. So we require 3 things, and the roof installation company or contractor plays a critical role in gathering the documents and submitting them or providing them to the property owner for submission. The first is photos of the completed roof. So in this case, photographs taken of the cool roof upon completion, similar to the photographs of the existing roof. We want you to try to take them on a clear sunny day, making sure that they're representative. We can see elements of the skyline and the horizon. Make sure that they're representative of the roof. If it's a larger roof, take several so you capture more areas of the roof. Increasingly, we are seeing some aerial shots of the roof as well through the use of drones and related technologies. Those are also acceptable, but we would also like those accompanied by some photographs taken directly from the surface of the roof, as they provide a more clear picture of the roof at surface level. The next thing we require is the declaration letter. We'll talk about more of that in the following sections. And we also require the invoice related to the roofing project. Next slide, please. So I chatted about this briefly, but this is what we'd ideally want a photograph of the completed cool roof to look like. We wanted to show the elements that show that it describes the roof that it purports to be. And in this particular case, the photograph of the existing roof and the completed roof have been taken from roughly the same spot. So it's a very easy comparison, very clear, and shows what the roof looked like before and what the roof looks at present at the end of the roofing project. Next slide, please. Okay, we're going to be moving on to the declaration letter. So the declaration letter is your attestation that the roofing project has been completed at that building, that address, and you need to indicate the area of the completed cool roof in square meters on that letter. The letter must be dated and signed, and ideally should be produced on the cool roof installation company's letterhead. If it was a partial roof retrofit, you're also welcome to include the specific section that was completed as part of that roofing project. But ideally, we want to see the elements that are described here. We want to see the letterhead. We want to see the date. We want to see the address of the building. If it's a partial roof retrofit, the section. If it's a full roof retrofit, indicate that it was for the whole roof. Your name and the area of the completed cool roof in square meters, your signature, as well as your contact information. Next slide, please. Here's an example of what we would want the declaration letter to look like. If you already have a template for a letter of declaration that you used in the past, you can incorporate these elements. If you'd like to see this example in greater detail, please reach out to us by email. We can send you a copy of this as well, so you can draft your letter of declarations according to what's been shown here in this example. Next slide, please. And the invoice. So the invoice we're referring to is the invoice that related to the roofing project. We want to see the total cost of cool roof installation and that it's been paid in full. Depending on how your company prepares invoices, all formats are accepted. Please try to submit them to us in PDF format. Here's an example of what we hope to see in your invoices. And again, if you'd like to see this example in greater detail, feel free to reach out to us by email and we can share this example with you. Next slide, please. And so that's everything on the application piece. I'm going to hand it back to Emma, and Emma's going to walk through the rest of the agenda in today's presentation. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Gethman. Okay, so now that we have gone through the application, the next step will be the quiz. You will receive a link to this quiz after the training has finished, sometime within the next couple days. Before the quiz starts, you'll be prompted to fill in your business details, and it's this information that will be used to populate the online directory. So please just ensure that that information is entered correctly. The quiz will take around 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how well you know the material. You're welcome to use any resources at your disposal, including the website. It's 20 questions long, and you must score at least an 80% in order to be listed on the directory. If you do not get 80%, you will be able to take the quiz again. There will be a deadline to complete the quiz in order to be included in the directory. And so we're going to wait for that deadline to pass before we update the directory to the website. And once you are on our website as an ambassador, it's especially important that your team be ready to assist customers who are interested in applying for the ecoroof incentive program. This means being aware of different products and eligible products, knowing where to source them, and even having a few in stock so that you can quickly work with clients who may need an emergency roof repair but want to replace their roof with an ecoroof. It would also be helpful for you to do an inventory of your products and have a document ready or your website updated with a page dedicated to cool roofs and the products that you stock that meet our program requirements. And once you receive the communications toolkit, please just familiarize yourself with it and the other city programs that are available to property owners in Toronto. This is an example of what our website will look like when the online directory is added. You can see it down there. The tab is not there yet because the directory has not been created yet, but it will be there once we have all the quizzes obtained. So sometimes the city's website can be difficult to navigate, so we are creating a toolkit with useful information, and we'll send this toolkit to everyone who attended today's training within a couple of weeks. Some resources are already available on our website, such as the brochure and links to the Cool Roof Rating Council. The brochure is a very helpful tool for communicating with clients, and you can download it from our website and send it to prospective clients as a way to help them understand the program and the benefits of eco-roofs. The communications toolkit will also include information on how to talk to your clients about cool roofs, but in the meantime, you can also refer to resources like this on the Cool Roof Rating Council website at coolroofs.org. Being aware of other services and funding sources that your clients can take advantage of will help your business stand out against competitors and help you to provide a more meaningful service to your clients. So we're going to talk a bit about some other city programs that are related to the ecoroof incentive program. First is the Home Energy Loan Program. Through the Home Energy Loan Program, Toronto homeowners can borrow up to $125,000 to cover the cost of home energy improvements, such as tankless water heaters, toilet replacements, solar hot water systems, rooftop solar PV panels, electric vehicle charging stations, and battery storage. So HELP makes it easy and affordable for homeowners to pay for home improvements over time and access rebates offered by utility companies and the federal government. Once funding is approved, homeowners can hire the contractor of their choice and complete their renovations. The best time to install solar is at the point of re-roofing. So as roofing professionals, this is a great program for you to be aware of and relay to your clients. So Solar TO helps property owners learn all about solar, access solar potential with their solar map, find financing and incentives, and find solar companies as well. This is an example of the solar potential assessment. The assessment tells property owners how much solar energy can be generated from their property, as well as the payback period. Mandatory downspout disconnection. So it's mandatory for all property owners in Toronto to disconnect their downspout. And if you're a roofing company that also helps with eaves troughs and downspouts, this is important information that you can let homeowners know about, because it is mandatory to disconnect downspouts, which are then connected to the city's sewer system. And this reduces the risk of basement flooding and minimizes the risk of sewer overloads during heavy rain events. There are some financial assistance programs related to basement flooding. So there is a financial assistance for downspout disconnection, where there is a reimbursement for the cost of labor and materials for performing downspout disconnection work, up to a maximum of $500 if you are an eligible low-income senior or low-income person with a disability. The city also offers a basement flooding protection subsidy program, where owners of single-family, duplex, triplex, and fourplex residential homes can access a subsidy of up to $3,400 per property to install flood protection devices. To better understand greenhouse gas emissions from buildings in Toronto, the city now requires owners of buildings to report energy and water use annually. There is a graduated rollout of this program, and right now only owners of buildings that have a gross floor area of 50,000 square meters and larger are required to submit their data from 2023. In 2025, owners of buildings 10,000 square feet and larger will be required to report their 2024 energy and water data. As there are quite a few different programs offered to building owners, the City of Toronto has a program where you can reach out and see what other programs you would be eligible for. This is, again, helpful as contractors to pass off to your clients who are interested in taking on a number of other retrofits. The navigation program focuses on helping building representatives navigate city and external programs and resources to implement key actions to accelerate the decarbonization of their building. These key actions include reporting, audits, recommissioning, and retrofits, and all commercial, industrial, institutional, and multi-unit residential buildings located in Toronto are eligible. To get started and connected with the navigation team, you just have to go to their website and submit an application or email bbp@toronto.ca. The navigation program is especially helpful when it comes to the new energy and water reporting, as the team will assist property owners through the reporting process and help them find funding and resources. So now we want to share a little bit about some past projects that have been completed under with funding from the ecoroof incentive program, and also some opportunities that people might not be aware of. So many people think that cool roofs can only come in white and can only be applied to flat roofs, but this is not true. There are cool roof shingles that come in many colors to match the property owner's aesthetic. Cool roof shingles can come in gray, brown, and even red. Another opportunity for someone considering a cool roof is solar panels. Research has shown solar panels can work more efficiently when installed on both cool roofs and green roofs, as they help to keep the surface temperature of the roof cooler. When solar panels get too hot, they actually don't work as efficiently, so keeping the panels cool is a benefit to the property owner. Our colleagues at Solar.to say that the best time to install solar is at the time of re-roofing, so this is important for you to be aware of. The photo on the right just shows the roof prior to the solar panels being installed. You may come across people who are interested in doing a cool roof and a green roof. So we just want to quickly show you some green roof projects that have been funded so that you can be inspired by these and also be aware when talking to clients. One thing when it comes to green roofs is you can think outside the box and how you can retrofit an existing building. So this was an old transportation depot where they actually filled the old salt bins with soil and planted trees on the roof. That is a really exciting example of retrofitting a building with a green roof. Green roofs are also a great place for biodiversity and native plants. And as you can see here, there's, black-eyed Susans and yarrow and goldenrod planted on this green roof. And to assist with creating biodiverse green roofs, the city actually has guidelines for biodiverse green roofs, which can be accessed on the city's website. And this guideline takes you through a number of important elements to include in a biodiverse green roof, such as providing habitat for various different species. And it's a really excellent resource for anyone looking to learn more about green roofs or install green roofs. Green roofs can also create amenity space. In a city where there's lots of gray and not a lot of green space, we might want to turn to the rooftops to create relaxing amenity spaces. And these are two examples of what that can look like. You can't even hardly tell that you're on a roof, but you're surrounded by greenery, and it's just a very relaxing space. Green roofs can also be used for food production, and these are two projects that were funded by the Eco Roof Incentive Program, where they're actually growing fruits and vegetables on the roof. And the City of Toronto will be releasing guidelines for rooftop urban agriculture sometime in 2025, which will be a really exciting resource. Another opportunity is event space. There are a few green roofs that we have funded that leverage the green roof to also host events and create an additional revenue stream. So yeah, hopefully you're feeling inspired. This work is so important, so we're really grateful that you've joined us today. Installing eco-roofs has a direct impact on Toronto's resiliency to extreme heat and flooding, and more people than ever before are concerned about climate change and its impacts. And you have a really key role to play because you can help property owners feel like they are making a difference in their community and access funding that is available. So this is the contact information of some of the team members who are working on this. You can always reach us at ecoroof@toronto.ca, but if you'd like specific contact information, you can reach me there. And I'm now going to end the recording, and we are going to go into the Q&A session of today's training.